guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a recap of the Brawn virtual push-pull event that took place last month. The results were just posted and I got second place in all events, so I'm pretty excited about that. The event took place from November 29th through December 31st, and it was a worldwide event that you could compete in from the comfort of your garage or your home gym, wherever you train from. There were no requirements to participate. You just had to use the timestamp app to film your lifts and your weigh-ins, and then at the end of your submission, show each plate and the bar that you used. And then everything was submitted up into the Brawn app. The event was split into two categories, IPF and non-IPF. So since I compete USPA, I was in the Kabuki platform. It was a 1 to 3 rep max for bench and deadlift. So you could submit up to 3 times for each one. You could go heavy with a max, or you could go for some reps with doubles and triples. And the way they score is based off a BIPS, which is Brawn intensity points. And that just takes into account your weight, your body weight, your gender, the weight on the bar, and how many reps that you did. There also was a 20 rep deadlift challenge that at first I didn't think I was going to participate in. We'll get into that later, but I ended up changing my mind. So this came at the perfect time as I was just finishing up the end of a 12-week program. So originally I was going to do a little mock meet and test all 3 of my lifts, but I couldn't pass this up when I heard about it. I decided I thought I would have the best chance at doing well if I submitted doubles. Now, I've talked before about how bench and I don't always get along, so I was hoping for 160 for 2. 160 is that weight for me that either feels great and I can do it for 5, or feels terrible and I can barely get it for 1. So my goal was 160 for 2. For deadlift, I really wanted 315 for 2. That's a weight rep scheme I've been after for a while. It seems like I can consistently hit 315 for 1, but it's never been in program to go for more reps than that. In the end of my last cycle, I hit 300 for 3, but I typically touch and go my deadlift reps, and in the rules for this, you had to come to the bottom, release tension, and then have no more than 5 seconds before your next rep. So I had no clue how I thought this was going to go, and that's why I didn't want to participate in the 20 rep challenge, because I thought there's no way I could even do 135 for 20 if I have to release it at the bottom. So I did a slight taper into the Saturday that I planned on recording. And then also during that week, I started rereading through the rules just to make sure I understood everything that I needed to do. And I noticed that for the 20 rep deadlift challenge, there wasn't a requirement that you had to release the tension. You could actually use straps, and it said they could be touch and go. So at that point, I'm like, we'll give it a shot, see how it feels that day. And I set in my mind that I wanted to try it for 225. The only time I've ever done 20 rep deadlift was a long time ago, randomly on an AMRAP, and the weight was 195. So it would be a 30-pound increase from the last time that I've done that. So on the day of the event, the day I filmed, I weighed in at 131.6, which moved me to the lightweight class. In the Brawn app, I'm registered as a 60 kg, which is 132, and that was the middleweight class. But because of my weight being in the 131s, that bumped me down to the lightweight group, and we'll talk about that later. So my sister came over to watch, which was fun. This was the first time she's ever seen me lift, and I'm used to training by myself, so it was kind of fun to have a friend out here. And I was actually surprisingly really nervous for the fact that it didn't matter if you mess up. You could just refilm, and who cares? Even if I mess up the whole day, I could just do it another day. But I found myself being as nervous as I was the day of my first real meet. During warm-ups, of course, bench started feeling pretty heavy. So as I got heavier and heavier, I decided to go for 155 for 2 and then go from there. So I watched the video back, and I didn't love the pause on my second rep. Now, there were no real rules as far as how long your pause had to be, but I didn't want to risk getting disqualified for like doing a touch and go bench or anything. So I went for 160 for 1. It was okay. And I figured since I could re-record, I re-recorded my 155 for 2. And you can see on my second rep, my right arm kind of lags. I didn't feel anything at the time, but I definitely think I tweaked something as I did that one, because later in the day and the next day, just like this whole side of my chest kind of hurt. But whatever, I didn't feel it at the time. And honestly, that whole day for me was just about the deadlift. I couldn't wait to get to the deadlift. When I started doing warm-ups, they felt like air, and I was just on top of the world. So I went for 300 for 2, just to get something on the board in case I failed the 315 for 2, that I could submit the 300. I got the 315 for 2. I was super pumped. Kind of looking back at it, I wonder if I could got it for 3. So that's going to be a goal of mine as we go into my next training cycle here. But with how good that felt, I said to my sister, I'm like, let me YOLO a single here. And I bumped up 15 more pounds to 330, which isn't a PR. It's 5 pounds under my best. But after doing the doubles and for how it moved, I was pretty excited about that. So I had told her about the 20 rep challenge. And after I did the 330, she looked at me and goes, you really think you can do that for 20? And I laughed and I told her that it was basically 100 pounds less than that. So I decided to go for the 20, getting everything all set up, and I just had Pandora on randomly. And the song that came on as I was getting ready for my 20 rep was the same song that was on in the background of the video when I did the 195 for 20. And I'm such a sucker for music and things like that, so I was super pumped to go for it. She cheered me on, told me when I had 5 more, and I ended up getting it. I've actually never just laid down at the end of a deadlift rep. So I got everything submitted, and then that was on December 11th, so I had to wait until the beginning of January for the results. My scores for the BIPs, my bench 155 for 2 came out to 127.3, and the 160 for 1 was 123.4. So I was right in thinking that the doubles would get me a better score. And then for deadlifts, the 315 for 2 was 258.7, and the 330 for 1 was 254.6. So again, same thing. My double got me a higher score. So that did put me in second place. My overall total was 386.03 Brawn intensity points. When I looked at the winner of the middleweight category, hers was 319. So if I had only weighed 0.4 pounds heavier and been in the middleweight category, I would have won. So that was kind of a bummer, but it was still cool to participate, and to get second place is phenomenal. And the 20 rep challenge was just broken into males and females overall, and my score was second on that one as well. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around for more content from a garage gym powerlifting mom showing you that you don't have to be the strongest to be strong. Thanks. Bye.